with the ceasefire still in place and us waiting for the hostages to come out, since we still have 2 days before they officially, or before Hamas has the deadline to officially release the hostages. So we still have 2 days. Um, Something that we already do have is the list of the terrorists that Israel will release in return. I have it, and we'll go through some of them. Mainly, I looked up Times of Israel and their coverage of this, so I'm relying on their reporting of this. But I do have a few things to bring out because of that. Because as you would imagine, with people that Hamas wants, there are, of course, there is among them. Some of them will be even released into East Jerusalem, meaning people who do have the permanent residency inside of Israel. So people who could potentially travel around Israel. With most of them, with some of them being released into the Palestinian territories, specifically in Judea and Samaria, and some of them being released into Gaza or even abroad. Um, with the idea that they can never return to Israel unless, of course, they are planning another October 7, which they absolutely are, and might be able to pull off once again. Um, Welcome to the Daily Objective. Today it's just gonna be me, and as I've said, we'll take a look at what exactly is happening. I'll also have a video, a short clip from one of the people from Hamas when he was asked about the demilitarization of Hamas, which I think is very appropriate to play in this kind of episode. But I guess without further ado, let's look at the list. So 250 people will be released by Israel. And I mean, we can just go by the list. Mahmoud K- Kavasme, I might be bad with the names, who is a senior Hamas member who was released in the Gilad Shalit deal originally, so over 10 years ago. He will be deported into Gaza, or he was deported into Gaza, and he was rearrested during the war in 2024, and he will be released again. So, I mean, there is this thing called the three strikes law, right? That basically it's when you I think it's like a specific severity of the law that when you break it 2 times and then when you break it again the third time, you get like a much harsher punishment, basically saying, okay, you are somebody who's clearly not interested in living in civilized society. So we will, go harder on you for these repeat offenses. But something we have here is somebody who commits terrorism, who gets arrested, then gets released during the Gilad Shalit deal. And I feel like we've covered so many different people who were released during the deal, yet still we are not learning the lesson. He was arrested again, meaning you know, he didn't try to fix himself or do anything. No, he tried to commit to terrorism again. So he was arrested and he will be released again. Will he be fixed now? No. I think the fundamental thing that has to be remembered here is this is not some kind of amnesty in the meaning of these maybe people didn't do something as bad, or anything along the lines, and we are trying to take this precaution or just try to do something about it. No, this is people committed to terrorism who have failed at it to, well, people committed to basically suicide actions, many of them, who failed at it, were arrested and are living in prison, didn't get a death sentence. And now those people are being told that they will be released, not because of, the war is ending or something. No, because some other, your brothers managed to kill enough Jews, so actual will release you. So if you want more of your people released, you should be committed to terrorism even more. This is what everybody is being taught again and again. So, I mean, like this is the thing. Like, what is everybody expecting will happen? And at times you might feel like you're crazy. Uh, that it's like you're the only one thinking, like, is nobody seeing what will happen? Is nobody seeing that this will only uh, make it worse and worse, that this will only contribute to more terrorism? This is the most disappointing and sort of like crazy part about all of this, that nobody is learning that lesson, and we will continue making these same mistakes again and again. Um, Paul says we don't want them in the UK, even they already are. I mean, yeah, the idea that they are being released somewhere else, I don't think. At least I hope it's not like, oh, we'll release them to America, we'll release them into UK. They'll most likely, I would imagine, be released to the surrounding nations, hopefully. But yeah, it's what stops them from basically trying to get in again. I mean, Israel does get control over Gaza and Judea and Samaria to a large extent, so they might prevent them from coming again. Uh, but, but still, the idea is that Gaza will be eventually given to somebody else. What control will Israel have over that? What will stop people from coming into Gaza again? So, I mean, let's go to somebody else. We have Abu al-Rub, who again is among the 250 terrorists that will be released. He's the commander of Palestinian Islamic Jihad in the Jenin area of the West Bank. He's responsible for orchestrating and overseeing a number of terrorist attacks, including a suicide bombing in Shadmot Mechola in June 2003, suicide bombing in Tel Aviv in February 2004, and a suicide bombing in Hadera in 2005. In total, 13 people were killed across the three attacks. So here, commander of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Again, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad is the other terrorist organization. I mean, there's a few of them, but sort of the other major terrorist organization in Gaza that is also holding some hostages, and they are getting their guy back. As it said, he operates in mainly Jenin, which is one of the worst parts of the Palestinian territories, meaning the Area A that is supposed to be controlled by the Palestinian Authority, but they have so little actual authority that I think Jenin is one of the worst places for them. So here, another terrorist that will be released and will get the chance to plan. I mean, it's kind of interesting that he did three suicide bombing attacks, although he orchestrated them. So, he told somebody else to go and kill yourself in order to kill Jews. But he will be released and he'll get another chance at this. Because, I mean, what do we expect from these people? And again, this is not some racist thing, but what do you expect from a person who has committed his life to terrorism and is now being released because of this terrorism? Is because Hamas did October 7. Because of that, now he's being released. Would he be released if Hamas didn't do anything like that? Would he be released if the world didn't unite against Israel to basically say, no, 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 you shouldn't defend yourself? Another name is Mohammed Zakarne, who is a Fatah operative who planned the 2009 attack in which taxi driver Grigory Raginovich was murdered, and Mohammed Abu al-Rub, who in 2017 carrying out the stabbing attack that killed Reuven Schmerling. So again, more terrorists that will be released. Like these are not nice people. These are not people you would want to live next to. Even when it comes to countries, you would want them to rot in jail. You would want them to. I mean, I think with the next one there was also. Well, let's go to the next one. We also have Raid Sheikh, who will also be released. He's the what is this? He's the Palestinian police officer convicted in 2003 by a military court in the West Bank for the murder of two reservists. And you might be asking which two reservists? Well, you might remember the Ramallah lynching when two IDF officers took a wrong turn, went into Ramallah, and were killed by Palestinian mob. So this is a police officer who was involved in the killing of those officers. So this is what the Palestinian so-called territories stand for, right? It's you take a wrong turn, you might just get killed by a mob because when they see a Jew, they simply are not are somewhat unable to act differently. Um, Something more about this story is that two of the three judges on the panel demanded the death penalty, but Israeli military law requires an unanimous decision for such a sentence. So he received the two life terms instead, and now he will be released. He was involved in one of the wars, attacks on Jews, the Ramallah lynching. uh, Somebody says they were dragged by car. They were dragged from car. Am I remember correct? I haven't not 100% sure. I know they were killed when they were at a police station. So basically, the police station took them there because they were not supposed to be there. I think Israelis cannot, or at least at that time, couldn't really travel there. So they were taken into a police station, and then the Palestinian mob broke in, but basically was led in by the Palestinian police officers. Again, this like reform Palestinian Authority in the capital of the Palestinian territories. Um, so yeah, you can imagine what the other places are like. But yeah, this person. By the way, just maybe slightly better story because I think we originally covered it. If you remember that sort of famous picture of the Palestinian with like blood on his hands and like showing it to people, and everybody celebrating the killing of Jews. So that person, thankfully, was killed last year. Basically, he was also among the people who were released during the Gilad Shalit deal. But then, when he was into Gaza, he was involved in war again and was killed by the IDF in 2024. So at least, I mean, this is making the best case for death penalty. Basically, actually kill the terrorists before you have a chance to, or before another government has a chance to release those terrorists. Um, We have a super chat from Bonnie. Thank you so much. And yeah, so these are some of the few that I've seen. I'm sure we'll see more. I mean, something that we can cover is I'm not sure. I haven't seen it that much, but this sort of idea that at least Barghouti is not released, or I think there's many that Hamas wanted released and at least are not seeming like will be released right now, like Barghouti. But the fact is that they might still get a chance sometimes else to be released. And what kind of attitude is this? That at least the terrorists we are releasing, they only have like two life sentences. They do not have like many life sentences. It's only the two of them. um I mean, that is the kind of defeatism that we are always seeing, uh that we are always seeing, that look at the bright side, look at the bright side, that the terrorists we are releasing are not that bad. But the fact is, with every one of these terrorists that are being released, there is a family, there are friends of the Israelis, of the Jewish people that were killed by them. I mean, with specifically the police officers involved in Ramallah lynching, I mentioned, there was an article on the Ynet released by the brother of one of the IDF personnel that were killed, and saying, you know, here is somebody that killed my family and he'll be released. He'll be released because terrorists managed on October 7th to kill many Jews. And then because Israel actually reacted at least somewhat into Gaza, because of that and because of the world pushback, now these terrorists will be released. I mean, the idea, I mean, I do not understand how uh, like just today I was listening to one of the podcasts in my own country, Slovakia, about this, and they were talking about like, oh, it's a nice to have this peace because now the innocent Palestinians will not be killed. But what about the innocent Israelis that who's I do not understand how somebody can look at this deal, look at the terrorists that are being released, and be like, yeah, I'm okay with that. This is for greater purpose. This can really only happen if you have some morality that is that is separated from the life. Because how else could you accept? How else could you accept that it's better for uh, the innocent Israelis to suffer than for supposedly this like weird, this like magical concept of innocent Palestinian? I'd like to see one innocent Palestinian who is not supportive of the Hamas war efforts, is not supportive of what's happening, and wants to see some kind of different society in Gaza. Because so far, absolutely nothing is showing that. Uh, Something else that I wanted to bring up. Yeah, I mean, generally, just what message does this send to the Palestinian terrorists? It's telling them, yeah, commit to terrorism. Even if you get arrested, even if you get life sentences, you might actually be released. You might. I mean, imagine if this happened, like in America, right? Like you have some gang, some cartel or something. They managed to kill a bunch of Americans. They managed to invade a bunch of America, and then people who have life sentences in American prisons will be released for something, for peace, for this concept of peace, this thing that we have to achieve for some reason. It's a terrible message, and it will haunt Israel because this will happen again. Again, what has changed? What has fundamentally changed with the Palestinians right now than before? I mean, I guess that's a good cue to actually go listen to the clip I had ready. So yeah, let's listen. This is oh, I do not. Okay, let's play it, and I'll look up his name because I didn't save it.
Therefore, yes, we believe and we hope that President Trump continue to interfere personally and to exercise the maximum pressure of on Netanyahu to fulfill its obligation, first as according to the deal, and second according to the international law as an occupying power. Because I think without this pressure, without this personal interference from President Trump, this would not happen.
But clear
Our
though,
weapons
just to be clear,
are
Dr.
going to be handed
Bassem,
over only to the hands of a Palestinian state. And our fighters can be integrated into the Palestinian National Army. Before that, no one has the right to deny us the right to resist the occupation by all means.
now you're saying you don't want to and you will not disarm.
If you ask it directly, yes, we are not going to be disarmed as long.
So this is oh, by the way, this is Bassem Naim. He is sort of like a senior leader in Hamas, and generally, I don't think he has that much power inside of like Hamas itself, but generally sort of puts out the message that is meant for Western audience. And here you have him, so you know there will be terrorists released as part of the deal. Hamas disarmament should happen as part of the deal that was accepted, that Hamas accepted, that Israel did accept, at least on paper. I'm not sure. Technically, not all phases were agreed on. But Hamas disarmament will happen, or should happen, according to the deal. And some third party should come in to Gaza instead of Hamas. And what is he saying after the release, when the release happens of the terrorists, is no, we will not disarm. We will only disarm into this like new Palestinian state. So basically, unless Hamas will have the power to go attack Israel with full force, it will not disarm. This is the kind of thing, this is what's being applauded. Uh, this deal is being applauded with these kind of people who basically lie from the start. Who basically say, no, 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 this is just a convenient way to get our terrorists back. This is a convenient way to get a breather. But once this is done, we will absolutely continue fighting. We will absolutely continue killing Jews because it's occupying us, because it's not allowing us to give us a greater ability to kill Jews. Again, the people who think that two-state solution is possible, I mean, I it's like I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, go talk to the people, go talk to the Palestinian representatives, go talk to the people who actually represent the Palestinian people, not some Western ideas or there's some people in the West talking about, oh, it would be nice to have a two-state solution, one-state solution. If you only give them, if you only give them rights, then they will be fine. No, they or rather they do not want their rights to be recognized. Palestinians do not want their rights to be recognized. They do not want to live in a civilized society. They do not want to live in a society that respects individual rights, property rights, or the sanctity of life itself. They celebrate that. They celebrate the martyrdom. Bonnie is asking, so the deal includes the Palestinian states. How did that happen? But that's what will happen. No, it technically doesn't. I think the idea, I mean, again, I think like the idea is that Palestinian Authority will be reformed and will be given Gaza. Now, technically, that wouldn't be a two-state solution because you still have Israel in Judea and Samaria. But the idea would be to basically it would be sort of like going back to Oslo or going back to after Gaza disengagement by Israel, basically, where Palestinian Authority controls the area A of the West Bank and Gaza. Um, but what this guy was saying, what the Basim Naim was saying, is that that Hamas will not disarm unless into the Palestinian military, which could include that basically unless two-state solution happens, Hamas will not disarm. So again, it shows that this deal was I mean, it was ridiculous from the start. It was never going to happen. And we have a super chat from Jonathan. Thank you so much. And another super chat from Jonathan. Thank you so much. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I think I also saw in the news from Trump talking about how it looks like this ceasefire will hold and hostages might be released. They might be released even before Monday, which would mean tomorrow. Um, Again, for the sake of the hostages, I absolutely hope they will be released. At least the living hostages that will get them back. Uh, Even the bodies of the hostages should come back, which I do hope so, just to give some peace to the families. But once Israel gets the hostages, it should go fully in. I mean, at this point, I cannot see it happening just because of how much pressure there is on Israel. Or not even, it doesn't matter what pressure is there on Israel. If you're willing to stand for yourself as a nation, you are able to do what is necessary. But I don't know if, what about the remains of those taken before 2023? I'm not sure. I know throughout the war there have been recovery of some of them, of like some people who were in Gaza before even 2023, but I don't think it's included in the deal. I think the deal only includes the hostages that were taken on October 7th. Um, so that's the only thing we'll get. We have a super chat from Askieshka. Thank you so much. He says, Daniel, do you think we should at least be able to choose the 28 terrorists from the list to keep in prison because 28 people of our people were murdered? Well, when it comes to the people who are being, when it comes to the terrorists that are being released, I think it comes from the negotiation. I don't think it's just Hamas demanding people and them automatically getting them. I think it is from negotiation. So I think that's why, at least as far as we know right now, people like Marwan Barghouti, which Hamas wants released, and there's a few more. I think I mentioned Marwan Barghouti. There's also Ahmad Saadat, the Secretary General of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. There is Ibrahim Hamed, serving 45 life sentences for orchestrating and killing Israelis. We have Abbas al-Sayed, who orchestrated the 2002 bombing at Park Hotel in Netanya, in which 38 Israelis were killed. We have Hassan Salameh, who is serving 48 life terms for multiple suicide bombings. So these people, as far as we know right now, are not being released, despite the fact that Hamas wants these people. They want these terrorists out. But so I mean, the idea that should Israel be able to choose? I mean, Israel has the ability to choose, right? It shouldn't do this at all. And even, or once it gets the hostages out, it should simply go back in. Um, and Paul mentions that they also wanted the body of Sinwar, and I think one other person, Hamas wanted the bodies of them, and Israel refused. Refused that. I've seen that in the news. But again, it's sort of like, wow, we were able to get away with not giving them back dead bodies of some terrorists. I mean, that's, you could call it somewhat of a, no, that's not a victory. That's simply and somebody else, does Israel have the body? Yeah. I mean, if you remember the when, and I kind of wanna just go look for that video and play it again. If you remember when Sinwar was killed, it was well, it was killed by a drone, right? And or it was either killed by a drone or was killed by a strike. I'm not actually sure because I know we have a video recording of the drone. But yeah, IDF did um, get to the body of Sinvar, and yeah, they keep the bodies as they. I mean, absolutely should. That's, we should never give them. Yeah, we should do. We should be as harsh as possible. We have a super chat, another super chat from Askeshka. Thank you so much. He says, thanks, Daniel Lahayam. Thank you so much. Well, with that, I think we'll start wrapping up. As I've said, we'll continue covering this as always. And we'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Daily Objective. Until then, thank you guys for joining me today. And bye bye.